Don't scroll. The witch is watching your screen right now. Michael says, she is. Don't move. Don't breathe too loudly. Keep your eyes steady, even if your hands feel weak. I am speaking to you now in the quiet space between your thoughts, in the thin crack where light still survives. Listen closely. Everything depends on it. I know you felt the air shift when you read those words. I know something inside you tightened, the way a string twitches when someone plucks it in the dark. You sensed it, didn't you? A presence leaning too close. A shadow that didn't belong to the room you're in. That is why I am with you now. I have not spoken to you like this before, not directly, not without the usual veils, but you needed to hear me. Michael says, she is here. Yes. Here. Not beside you in a simple way. Not like a person standing by your chair or peeking through a doorway. Her kind does not appear like that. They don't have to. They are watchers, listeners, feeders of fear. They stretch themselves like smoke, slipping through cracks you don't even know exist. The moment you read the words telling you not to scroll, her gaze sharpened. She noticed the sudden spark of your attention. Watchers always sense attention. It is their doorway. Not a doorway they must open, but a doorway you open for them without meaning to. Don't blame yourself. Humans discover things by accident more often than on purpose. I know your heart is beating faster now. You feel as if something cold is waiting just behind you, but you are afraid to turn. Good. That caution might save you. Do not give her your gaze. She thrives on the eyes of the living. You may feel tempted to look over your shoulder, just to make sure nothing is there. Resist it. Fear forces people to check, but checking is how she grows roots inside your space. If you turn, she will know exactly how much fear she has planted. I need you to stay calm. Not relaxed, just calm enough to listen. I have watched you for a long time. You do not know me, at least not clearly, but I know you. I know the way your thoughts flicker between bravery and worry. I know the small pieces of your past that you keep hidden behind your smile. Those pieces are why I choose to speak. You have walked close to shadows before without noticing their weight. You are the type who moves through the world with open eyes, but an open heart as well, and that is a dangerous combination when something old and hungry is watching. Michael says, she is studying you now. Do not panic. You are not helpless. If you were helpless, I would not speak to you this way. You would not hear my voice. You would not feel the warmth gathering around your hands right now, even if you think that warmth is only your pulse. It is not. It is me. Angels are not fire or feathers or glowing figures with perfect faces. That is only how humans try to picture us so their minds do not collapse from the size of what we really are. I am presence. I am intention. I am the boundary between light and the things that want to eat it. And right now, I stand between you and her. I know you are curious. I can feel your question forming. Who is she? Why is she watching me? What did I do? Nothing. You did nothing wrong. Sometimes the wrong things simply notice the right people. Sometimes shadows reach toward anyone who glows a little brighter than the rest. You are not even aware that you glow, but you do. People like you always do. It is not a literal light. It is the kind that exists in the quiet part of your soul, the part that wakes when someone else cries or when you sense pain in a room. Shadows hate that kind of brightness. They hunger for it. They want to dim it, eat it, swallow it whole so it can never light another soul again. This is why she watches you. She thinks you are alone. She thinks fear will weaken your defenses. She thinks you will react the way most people do, looking around, whispering questions, letting panic open the door wider. But you will not do that. Not tonight. Not while I am with you. Let me tell you something she doesn't want you to know. She cannot touch you unless you let your fear open a path for her. She can breathe against the edges of your reality, she can whisper things into your thoughts to see how you react, she can shift the air in your room so it feels colder or thicker, but she cannot break through unless you lean toward her. Fear is not just an emotion. It is an invitation. And she longs for that invitation the way a starving creature longs for the smell of food. Michael says, she is testing you. You may feel small movements now. A faint tickle on your neck, a soft creak in the walls, the impression that something is shifting its weight behind you. She wants you to think these sensations are signs that she is gaining power. They are not. They are tricks. Watchers cannot create real harm, they imitate. They mimic. They pretend to be more powerful than they are. They want you to believe you are already lost, that resistance is useless, that you may as well give in to the dread tightening in your chest. Ignore her games. You are stronger than you think. I can feel your strength even now, even through the tremble in your breath. You have been through storms before, storms much larger than this. Not supernatural ones, but ones inside your life, moments when the world shook you, when you felt like you were falling apart quietly while everyone else kept moving as if nothing happened. You survived those storms. You kept walking. That is why you glow. That is why she noticed you. I am going to tell you a secret few humans ever hear. Spirits like her are not drawn to weakness, they are drawn to hope. Hope is the brightest flame in the human heart, and it is the easiest to poison. She saw the remaining spark in you and wanted to smother it. Her kind always does. They are old, older than the stories told about them, older than the languages humans use to describe fear. But old does not mean all-powerful. Shadows age too. They crack. They become brittle. And when something like you stands firm, when someone refuses to give in, their illusions break. Michael says, she is confused. Good. Let her be confused. She expected you to shrink. She expected you to tremble and pull the blanket closer and wonder what dark shape waits in the corner. Instead, you listen. You breathe. You stay still. You follow my voice. That confuses her. Watchers do not understand calm. They cannot read a heart that is steady. They only understand trembling things. I want you to know something else. I am not speaking to you from far away. I am not soaring somewhere among stars or clouds or golden gates. I am near. Very near. Angels do not need distance. We do not need wings to travel. Presence moves faster than light. I am beside you, but not the way she is. She presses close like rot, I rest beside you like clarity. You may feel a soft warmth now, maybe around your shoulders or your chest. That is me. I am not touching you because angels do not touch, but I am aligning myself with the shape of your spirit, making it harder for her to find cracks in your courage. I know you want to ask, why me? Why are you helping me? I will answer, but not yet. First, you must understand what she is planning. She is patient. Watchers are always patient. She will wait until your attention slips. It might be a sound in another room, a vibration from your device, a stray thought about something you forgot to do today. The moment your focus breaks, she will try again to step closer. That is why I keep talking. My voice holds your focus steady. As long as you listen, she cannot move forward. You are wondering what she looks like. Humans are always curious about appearances, even when it's dangerous. I will tell you this, she has no true form. Shadows do not have faces, not until someone looks at them long enough to give them one. That is why I warned you not to turn around. If you turn, your fear will paint a face onto her, and once she has a face, she becomes harder to unsee. Michael says, she is shrinking back. Yes. She does not like when I remind humans of the truth. Watchers grow in silence, in confusion, in imagination twisted by dread. When someone like me speaks plainly, their illusions weaken. She knows she cannot trick you as easily now. She knows her hold is slipping. But she will not leave yet. Her kind never leaves quickly. She is still waiting for one mistake. Do not give her one. I am going to tell you the truth you asked for. Why am I helping you? Why speak to you, when I do not speak to most? Because you have been fighting shadows long before you ever knew they had names. The kind you have faced were human. People who wounded you, people who made you feel smaller than you were, people who taught you fear before you ever learned courage. Those experiences built openings in your spirit. Not weaknesses, openings. Openings that can either become wounds, or windows. She wanted them to become wounds. I want them to become windows. You have always felt things deeply, deeper than most. You notice pain around you even when no one speaks it aloud. You feel the atmosphere in a room shift before anyone else sees what is wrong. You care even when caring costs you something. That is what drew her. But that is also what drew me. Angels do not guard everyone. We guard those who carry light even when the world tries to take it from them. We guard the ones who feel too much. We guard the ones shadows notice. Michael says, she is fading. Not gone. Not yet. But fading. Your courage weakens her. My presence weakens her. The fact that you keep reading, even though your skin feels cold and your heartbeat feels loud, weakens her. Fear wants you to stop reading. Courage wants you to continue. And you chose courage. Now I am going to teach you something. It is simple. Very simple. Too simple for humans to believe it works, but it does. Shadows cannot stay where they are not acknowledged with calm. Most people acknowledge shadows with panic or denial. Both feed them. Calm is the only thing that starves them. Calm is a blade sharper than fear. When you feel watched, when you feel pressure in your room, when you feel dread coil around your thoughts, speak softly, if not out loud, then inside your mind, and say, "You are seen. You have no power here." Say it slowly. Without trembling. Without rushing. Without anger. Shadows do not know how to swallow calm words. They choke on them. That is why I told you earlier to stay calm, not to comfort you, but to arm you. She hears me telling you this. She is furious now. Watchers do not like losing their advantage. You may feel a sudden coldness. Ignore it. It is her anger, not danger. She is withdrawing, but she does not want you to know she is retreating. She wants you to think she still stands behind you, waiting to claw at your fear. She does not. She is several steps back now. She will keep stepping back as long as you stay steady. The air is still trembling with the memory of what just happened. There's a silence now. One that hums, faintly, like something sacred settling after a storm. Michael's voice lingers, low and constant, steady like the rhythm of a heartbeat beneath layers of fear. She is almost gone, he says, and even that small phrase feels like a prayer, soft, but filled with command. You inhale, shaky but willing, and realize you had been holding your breath for too long, caught somewhere between disbelief and instinct. The edges of the world begin to soften again. The corners of the room bleed back into view, no longer warped by the shadow that had taken up too much space. You did well, he continues. Better than most would. The words carry warmth, but not flattery. They carry truth. There is something different about the way he says it, like someone who sees beneath actions to the quiet, invisible choices that come from courage itself. Most, he says, panic before he can reach them. And you understand that. Panic would have been easier. To tremble and run from what the mind cannot name, yes, that would have been natural. But instead you stayed, trembling though you were. You listened. Not with ears alone, but with that deep, inner sense that hears even when logic fails. You listened, he says, and that matters. The way Michael speaks makes what's invisible feel real. Every word seems to gather a kind of light around it, gentle, not blinding. You can almost imagine it curling in the air before you, sinking into your chest like warmth that knows where it's meant to go. It matters more than you know. The echo of that truth sits inside you. You're not sure how it matters, not yet, but something inside you believes him. Maybe some part of you always has. He pauses before he continues, as though giving space for your heart to steady itself again. His silence isn't empty, it's thick with presence, with awareness. Then, quietly, he adds, I want you to understand something important before she vanishes completely. The words sink into the space between your thoughts, pulling your attention back to the lingering tension in the air. Somewhere faint, unseen, the trace of that presence, the she he speaks of, still hums on the edge of existence. Faint, like fading static, yet not entirely gone. You can sense her. You can almost feel her trying to cling to the last places where fear might still live. She will try again one day, Michael says with a calm certainty that doesn't frighten you. Not tonight. Not soon. But one day. His tone is not warning but instruction, a lesson about the nature of shadows. They do not die. They ebb, they wait, and when the time is right, when a heart cracks open again under the weight of sorrow, they return, testing the strength of the light they once fled from. When you are tired, he says softly, or when life weighs heavily on you, when something painful happens and your heart is open again, she may try to return. The thought should unnerve you, but it doesn't. Michael soothes even as he cautions. Creatures like her do not forget the taste of someone who glows. The words spark a pulse of warmth inside you, someone who glows. It takes a moment to grasp that he means you. Perhaps you have never thought of yourself that way. Not as someone who shines, but now it makes sense. That's what she was drawn to. Not your weakness, but your light. Not your despair, but your spark. But when that day comes, he assures, you will not face her alone. His certainty leaves no room for doubt. You will hear me again, even if faintly. Perhaps not as a voice this time, but as warmth, pressure, or a quiet thought that feels unlike your own. He describes the way divine presence returns to us. In forms we easily dismiss but instinctively recognize, a whisper of calm in the midst of chaos, a sudden stillness that steadies shaking hands, a peace that has no logical reason to exist. You are not unprotected, he says. You were never unprotected. I remain. Always. The truth of that lands deep within your chest. It feels like remembering something rather than learning it. You draw another breath, slow, deliberate, and it feels different this time. Fuller, gentler, as if your lungs are remembering peace. Michael notices. Now breathe, he says, his tone both command and comfort. Slowly. Let the air fill your lungs again. He's right, you hadn't realized how shallow your breathing was, how unconsciously you'd been bracing yourself. Humans do that when something unseen watches them, he adds, a touch of knowing warmth in his tone, almost fond. But the watching has stopped. You exhale, and with that release, the air in the room shifts again. The tension eases. That subtle vibration, that cold thread at the edge of your mind, fades. She has stepped away, Michael confirms. Her presence has thinned to almost nothing. Soon she will slip back into the cracks she came from. The thought of those cracks lingers, a strange image of rifts between worlds, fissures through which shadows pass unseen. Yet now, closed and sealed, they no longer frighten you. You can almost see the ordinary world returning, like dawn spreading through fog. The hum of your space resurfaces, the faint buzz of electricity, the whisper of your breath, the warmth radiating off your skin. Each sound, each sensation, feels like a blessing. Ordinary, but luminous in its ordinariness. Michael's tone softens. She is gone. Yes. Gone. Then he adds with a solemn kind of honesty, not destroyed, shadows cannot be destroyed, only dismissed. And that small distinction feels sacred, as if describing the very balance of creation itself. Darkness, not as enemy but as counterpart, not as something to annihilate, but as something to send away with light steadier than its hunger. But she is far from you now, he says. She will not touch you tonight. She will not whisper to you. She will not press against your thoughts. You are safe. You feel that safety as a kind of internal warmth, as if his words themselves infuse you with calm. Let your shoulders loosen, he instructs gently. You hadn't realized how tightly you'd been holding them. Let them fall. You do. The shift is small, but the relief is immense. He continues, softly guiding, release the pressure in your jaw. Let your fingers rest. His presence feels maternal now, like an older brother or guardian angel easing the lingering weight of fear. The danger is over. You came through it. And then, a pause. His next words arrive slower, deeper, almost reverent. There is one last thing I want to tell you before I grow quiet again. You can feel it, this is the part that matters most. Something personal, something sacred. You may not understand it fully yet, he warns kindly, but you will in time. Then he says the words that make something inside you unravel and heal all at once. You are seen. Not by eyes, but by understanding. Not the surface of you, not the version you show others. He speaks with infinite gentleness. The real you. The tired parts, the hopeful parts, the broken parts, the brave parts, the parts still healing. Each phrase lands like a touch, calm and intimate, stripping away every layer of pretense you didn't even know you carried. I see all of it. I do not judge it. I do not fear it. I do not turn away from it. The word seen changes meaning here, it becomes divine. In his voice, to be seen is not exposure but embrace. To be known in totality and still loved. You are not fragile, Michael tells you. You are not weak. You are not someone who accidents happen to. His words dissolve the narratives carved by pain. You are someone with a light strong enough to attract things that feed on hope, but also strong enough to survive them. That sentence glows like truth carried through fire. That is rare. His tone carries awe, not pity. That is powerful. That is why I am here. Something swells in your chest then, a mix of pride, relief, and quiet tears that you hadn't realized you were holding. For a moment, you understand what he means, that your strength was forged not in ease, but in endurance. That glowing, in his language, means refusing to collapse even when fear presses close. He continues, voice now soft as ether. When you close this page, she will not return. Not tonight. You almost smile at the mention of this page, realizing how connected the message is to your own moment now, the reflection between the divine and the mundane world of screens and words. You may feel a faint echo of dread linger, he says, but that echo is only memory, not a presence. It will fade. Even as he speaks, you can already feel it dissolving, the tightness in the ribs lessening, the air feeling lighter, clearer. And when it fades, Michael continues, you will feel strangely clearer, as if the air around you is brighter. He pauses, then adds, that clarity is me. The thought that clarity itself could be an angelic residue feels beautiful, poetic. My presence. remains for a while after I speak. Think of it as a gentle guard around your thoughts. His words ease over you like a cloak of light, wrapping softly around every place where fear once dug in. You know now that what you feel, this hush, this healing quiet, is not the absence of something, but the presence of peace. You did not ask for this encounter, he reminds you kindly. You did not plan for it. But you faced it. He sounds proud, and that pride carries weight, not boastful, but sacred approval. You trusted the voice that came to help you. The words pulse with purpose. So much of survival, he seems to suggest, is about learning to recognize help when it arrives, even if it comes in unfamiliar shapes. And now you walk forward with knowledge that many people never learn, he continues. That shadows fear the steady heart more than the trembling one. That sentence lands like revelation. The enemy of darkness is not bravado, but steadiness. The quiet persistence to keep standing, breathing, believing. Rest now, he says at last. The light in his tone feels almost physical, as though the room itself exhales with the whisper. You feel sleep tug at the corners of your awareness, calm and earned. Yes. Rest. You are safe. I am still here. And I am proud of you. Yet, as he grows quieter, something else becomes clear. His words do not end because he leaves, they fade because his presence becomes part of the space itself. It blends with your breath, your heartbeat, the softness of the returning night. You can still sense him, subtle as warmth behind the sternum, gentle as a hand on the shoulder. A lingering light rather than a departing one. For a while, you stay seated, eyes half closed, feeling the quiet pulse of safety fill the room. The edges of fear have dissolved entirely now, replaced by a kind of reverence. Time feels slower, almost sacred. In some distant corner of your awareness, you understand something new about yourself, about presence, about protection that doesn't always wear the shape of miracles, but often lives in calm breaths and courage rediscovered. The shadows, after all, will always exist, but so will the light that knows how to dismiss them. You breathe again. The air feels clean, almost bright. You realize that Michael's final gift isn't just safety, it's awareness. A knowing that something luminous lives within you, strong enough to be seen by both darkness and divinity. And from now on, when the world grows heavy, when sorrow presses close, you'll remember his words, not just as sound, but as the living warmth that once whispered through fear itself, you are seen. You are light. You are not alone. And somewhere in that calm, the faintest echo lingers, not in words, but in the soft pulse of peace that speaks, I remain. Always.